Ladies and gentlemen, Cam Newton does not believe Jalen Hurts is a top 10 NFL quarterback. If you guys do enjoy the video, leave a like, subscribe. I'll catch you next time. Peace. So today started training camp for most NFL teams, but instead of that being the topic of discussion, we're talking about Cam Newton and how he believes that Jalen Hurts is not a top 10 quarterback. This is why he believes that's what the information he uses to back that up and his metric on how he makes that scale. So here he is.
Jalen Hurts does not have to play elite for the Philadelphia Eagles to win. He has to play good, but he doesn't have to play elite. We're not asking you to win the game. We're just asking you not to lose it. When you ask that question, are we winning because of you, solely because of you, or is it the resources around you? So game changer, game manager, those are the things that you have to ask yourself. And those are the metrics that I'm going off of. It's like, bro, even when the tush push, you got 5 people pushing you, bro. You got a solid group around you, dog. And the man who Jalen Hurts.
So there you have it. Cam Newton talks about how Lamar Jackson can't do it or can do it with pretty much anybody on the field. Zay Flowers, Isaiah Likely, stuff like that. Patrick Mahomes, same sort of situation where, he can carry a team, whereas Jalen Hurts has a lot of help, which is kind of stupid to say just because NFL teams everywhere across the league have elite talent. Jared Goff, for example, right? Every single position is super strong. The defense might not be there, but in terms of talent, they're talented everywhere. So it's kind of a weird argument for Cam Newton to have. I know that a lot of people are speculating that Jalen Hurts said some things to Cam regarding his first Super Bowl loss, and Cam trying to relate to him in certain aspects, and Jalen Hurts just wasn't having it. So it's super weird to say because Jalen Hurts has performed in every single facet of the game. Obviously, he doesn't have the MVPs or this extreme talent in terms of he throws the ball 35 times a game. He doesn't run for 100 yards every game like Lamar Jackson does. He's not big, strong, physical like Josh Allen is, or he's not a prolific weird playmaker in terms of the flashiness that Patrick Mahomes has. He's not deadly accurate like Joe Burrow. But it's interesting to have this metric of, your team is so good that we have to downplay your success because of how good your team is and the people surrounding you. So kind of weird to say, super interesting because it is NFL football is 11 on 11, not 1 versus, 1 versus 11. So interesting concept that Cam has drawn up in this argument. I don't agree with it. I don't think anybody does. Here's Ryan Clark talking about it.
Do you feel, though, that response is disrespectful to Jalen Hurts?
We have to stop allowing people to have excuses to disrespect Jalen Hurts. Cam recently said I was playing things safe, so let me cook for a second here, right? So there's different ways to look at it. Historically and presently, Jalen Hurts is the top 10 quarterback, and you're going to look at it different ways. You're going to look at talents above X's and O's, the ability to help your team win, and then to me, it's proximity to the GOAT. Let's take Cam Newton, right? What made Cam Newton great? He could be powerful in short yardage and goal line. He could extend plays with his legs. He was this big physical presence.
So yeah, Ryan Clark kind of talks about hey Cam, you're salty, and I know Cam and Ryan don't have a great relationship. They have gone back and forth in terms of certain takes that each one have had. So he talks about how do you discredit this man when he's done so much. He's beat Patrick Mahomes. He's beat Joe Burrow. Or he's beat Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl. I think only 3 quarterbacks have beat Patrick Mahomes. That would be Jalen Hurts, Joe Burrow, and Tom Brady. Those are the only people that have beat Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. So his accolades are there, right? It's hard to downplay something like that, especially when you are a consistent winner. Obviously, the Eagles have Howie Roseman has built a strong team around his guy. It's also super interesting because there was a time period in the last season before the season that the Eagles won the Super Bowl. It was October or it was late October, early November, where people were talking about Nick Sirianni getting fired because of how the Eagles were playing. There was a lot of rumors and criticism surrounding AJ Brown and how he's not getting the ball and all these other interesting things that just because the Eagles are so strong that they're not winning emphatically. So it's super interesting to have all these commentators and analysts talk about how and make excuses of how Jalen Hurts isn't that guy or he is that guy, right? I think that it's statistically proven that Jalen Hurts is a really good quarterback. He's not a game manager. He's also not he's not put in a position to do too much because once you put a player in there to be a superstar, it can go sideways, right? You see that a lot of times with Brock Purdy or even Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson hasn't done anything in the playoffs, but nobody ever criticizes him. Why? Because they're going to say, oh, they're forcing him to do too much. How much more do you want him to do, right? But in terms of Jalen Hurts, when he is producing results and he is winning games, people try to discredit that. So this is also another reason why people thought that Cam Newton and Jalen Hurts kind of have some sort of beef or underlying beef or whatever.
I remember my first go-around, my only go-around, got the MVP, was the golden child of that time. But I didn't win. Vulnerably speaking, I cried. You got a second opportunity at this. What's your mentality going into this game?
Focus and finish. I can relate to you on that. Not the crying, but I can relate to you on coming up.
So yeah, man, they talk about their first Super Bowl loss and how it kind of affected them and their mindset after that game. I don't know when this interview was recorded or when it happened, but it talks about how, like, I can relate to you on winning, right? And Jalen Hurts has this demeanor of, like, he's not too serious. He doesn't show too much emotion. And I think Cam was kind of interested in, like, he was kind of weirded out by that. Like, bro, like, we're sitting here, like, we're having a deep conversation. I'm being vulnerable with you, talking about how I had some regrets in that Super Bowl, how I cried during that Super Bowl, how being undefeated and losing the Super Bowl was so impactful towards my life. And Jalen's like, yeah, I get it. I mean, it hurt me too, right? Because I also play the game like you do, and we put our lives on the line to win this game. And I wanted to go back to the tush push comment that he's like, hey, bro, you have 5 people pushing you. I'm sorry, but there's a reason why nobody else's tush push works the way that the Eagles does, and that's because Jalen Hurts squats 600 pounds. Oof. And again, this was back in college. His dad was a power lifter, or somebody close to him was a power lifter. I believe it was his dad, but squatting 600 pounds, pushing through so many dudes. Like I said, it's just discrediting how Jalen Hurts works and the type of dude that he is. And again, this is the demeanor, the leadership that Jalen Hurts just has. And this was previous. I think this was yesterday. This was today, actually.
Did you eventually get to put it on? Why or why not?
Yeah, I've moved on. Moved on to the new year. You know, it's as simple as that.
So they ask him, yo, Jalen, how come you're not rocking that Super Bowl ring anymore? And he's like, well, it's a new year. Season starts today. I mean, last year was last year. This year's this year. The goal remains the same, right? Same demeanor, Jalen Hurts' demeanor, where he super serious. He's about his business. I mean, he knows he has this window with this team currently that can win multiple championships, not just one and done. They can go on a historic run and be like a Jalen Hurts era, Eagles era, knock off Patrick Mahomes' era, right? So he knows they have the ability and the talent to do something special, and that's what he's working towards. And obviously, the Eagles feel the same. They're a strong organization. They're doing business really well right now. So, you know, like he said, you know, a goal stays the same. They want to win every single game. And again, his leadership. This is the type of person that he is.
When that is 0-0, hey man, that's you. That's you. Come on. That's you. All of us, man. I know it's all of us, but you don't understand the difference you made. You know, we right there, but you like that last piece, man.
Yeah, bro, just a humble dude, leadership. He understands that, hey, Saquon, you're the big reason why we won the Super Bowl, not just because of me, not just because of that guy, not just because of this person or that person. You're a huge piece, and we felt that you were the last remaining piece, and we were right. And, you know, they both deserve that glory, that recognition as to why they're so good and why they were so successful last year. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys have Jalen Hurts on your top 10? If you guys did enjoy the video, leave a like, subscribe. I'll catch you next time. Peace.